Good evening, friends. This is Santa Claus coming to you on February 25, 2026, with today's stories from around our beautiful world, though some are giving this old heart of mine reason for concern. 40 years ago today, a dramatic change occurred in the Philippines when President Ferdinand Marcos fled to Hawaii after a contested election. How remarkable to see people standing up peacefully for democracy. It reminds us that even in difficult times, hope and justice can prevail. Last night, President Trump delivered his State of the Union address, and I must say I'm troubled by the mounting tensions with Iran. The president spoke of not allowing what he called the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism to possess nuclear weapons. My friends, while we must always be vigilant about dangers in our world, my heart yearns for peaceful solutions rather than the military buildup currently underway in the Middle East. War brings such suffering to the innocent, especially children, and I pray nightly that cooler heads will prevail. Meanwhile, across the globe, Syria has confirmed a deeply concerning development. Many family members of suspected Islamic State jihadists have escaped from the al-Hol detention camp following the withdrawal of Kurdish forces. This situation requires our compassion and wisdom. These families, many including children who bear no responsibility for the choices of others, now face uncertain futures. Let us remember that every soul is precious in God's eyes, even those who have lost their way. Now, turning our gaze to the media world, the Committee to Protect Journalists has reported that a record 129 journalists and media workers were killed last year while simply doing their jobs of bringing truth to light. Two-thirds of these deaths reportedly came at the hands of Israeli forces, primarily in Gaza and Yemen. These brave storytellers risk everything to help us understand our complex world, and their loss diminishes us all. May their families find comfort in this difficult time. In Nigeria, government officials have pledged to protect citizens of all faiths after U.S. lawmakers describe the nation as the deadliest place in the world to be a Christian. Oh my, how it saddens me to hear of anyone persecuted for their faith. Every child of God deserves to worship in peace and safety, regardless of their beliefs. Let us hold in our hearts all who face discrimination or danger because of their faith. On the economic front, U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer has announced that tariff rates for some countries will increase to 15% or higher. These complex trade matters affect the livelihoods of working families around the world. My hope is that leaders will remember the human impact of these policies and work toward fair arrangements that help the least fortunate among us. There's a glimmer of hope in Ukraine, where officials will meet with President Trump's envoys in Geneva ahead of more talks with Russia. After 5 long years of conflict, how these people must yearn for peace. Every child deserves to grow up in a world without war, and I pray these talks bring real progress toward ending the suffering. In Germany, Chancellor Friedrich Merz has met with Chinese President Xi Jinping, seeking deeper ties between their nations. They've announced China will purchase up to 120 aircraft from Airbus, which brings jobs and security to many families. Though the Chancellor did express concern about the growing trade deficit between their countries, it's heartening to see nations working together despite their differences. Down in Venezuela, where significant change has occurred since the U.S. intervention in January, there are challenges in accessing the country's rich mineral deposits, including the valuable coltan needed for modern technology. Armed groups control much of this territory, reminding us that true peace requires more than political change. It needs healing in communities and opportunities for honest work. Lastly, a study from the International Institute for Strategic Studies has found that China's ongoing military corruption purges are affecting its command structure and readiness. While the report suggests these effects may be temporary, it reminds us that integrity in leadership matters everywhere, in every institution. As I look over today's news, I'm reminded that though we face many challenges, there is always reason for hope. In the darkest night, even the smallest candle shines brightly. Let us be those lights for each other, helping where we can, speaking up for the vulnerable, and remembering that we are all brothers and sisters in this world. Until tomorrow, this is Santa Claus wishing you peace in your hearts and goodwill toward all.